If you want to improve as a guitarist, one of the most important areas to focus on is technique. Techniques are the keys to unlocking the sounds on your favorite songs. But if a player is lacking the skill to be able to articulate a technique or even just understanding how it works, then they're going to come up short when they go to play their favorite songs. So in this video, I want to share with you 10 must-know guitar techniques for beginner and intermediate players. These are in no particular order, but we're starting off with slides. Now, slides are a beautiful and expressive technique. And they just add a smooth sound as you connect one note to the next. Now, slides can be done on single notes, like you could do double stops. A great example of that is Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. You could even slide entire chords, like but a lot of players don't know how to slide just one note. They get stuck. The sound stops when they move up or down the fretboard, and this can be tough. Number 2 is hammer-ons and pull-offs. And these are two techniques, technically, but I group them together because they're very similar. And the first time that I learned these was when I was learning a song called Over the Hills and Far Away, which is just loaded with these hammer-ons and pull-offs. So a hammer-on sounds like that. A pull-off sounds like that. And these could be mixed together, like, you could put one after another. So for example, pull-off, pull-off. And when you're doing this right, you'll actually feel the flesh ripping off your fingers until you get calluses and they build up stronger. But as I said, when I was learning this on Over the Hills and Far Away, I remember just feeling in my fingers like, ooh, because you're doing this. You're kind of digging into the string and re-plucking it. And that takes your calluses to a new level. Number 3 is finger picking. And too many guitarists have this mindset of, I either play with a pick or I play fingerstyle. And what you want to do is be able to do some of both. So if you're mainly a pick player, some simple patterns, maybe some Travis picking or some folk tunes like being able to use your fingers is so useful as a guitar player, and you never know when you might get stuck without a pick. Number 4 is an extremely valuable technique called palm muting. Now you can use this in any style, and it could apply to chords or soloing. So for example, here's what it might sound like with some power chords. You could also use this technique with single notes in parts like this. You could use this in a full-on solo as well. Sometimes on acoustic, I'll play a whole solo just with muted notes. If you've struggled to understand the fretboard and be able to play parts like this for rhythm and lead, then go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide and get your hands on my free fretboard guide PDF. This is going to show you 5 chords and 5 scales to unlock the neck. It's going to be one of the most useful PDFs you ever see for understanding the fretboard, and it's only 1 page. I put it all on 1 page. You can get this completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide and grab that now as my gift to you. Number 5 is chord transitions. And this could be something as simple as just playing like a G chord to a C chord, right? Or it could be something more complicated, like playing A minor 11 to D13 and G major 9. So what I mean by that is this skill applies to every level of guitar. Beginners have trouble making the chords on the beat, And more advanced players, you're always learning new chords on guitar, and sometimes your fingers just won't want to go there. Now, the most common advice players hear for this is practice. You just need more practice, or they'll say things like, repetition is the mother of skill, and practice makes progress, and blah, blah, blah. But if you're following this advice, then you'd better bring a lunch and a couple of good books, because you're gonna be waiting a long time. There's actually a much more efficient way to change chords, and as I said, this is a fundamental skill that affects every level of player. There's always gonna be new chord shapes, and transitioning between them is essential. Number 6 is strumming without a pick. There's a lot of songs that begin with finger picking and then they go to strumming. A great example of this, and I'll just play the first part. Don't want to get this video blocked, so I'll stop it right there, but then it goes. And so you have this picking part at the beginning, and then you transition to strumming. Now, a lot of players get stuck. They try and, put their pick somewhere, grab it on a stand, or even put it in their mouth, which is gross because your pick just drops on the floor all the time. And so if you don't want to get stuck doing that, then what you got to do is you got to learn to strum without a pick, and you got to learn to navigate these different techniques. And like I said, countless songs do this. Number 7 is the bar technique. Now, a lot of people say, oh, John, I already know bar chords, as if there's some set amount, and once you know them, you're good. But what a lot of people don't realize is barring is used in soloing. It's used in rhythm and lead. It's not just the dreaded F chord and maybe a few variations of that. So you want to understand how to bar on 2 strings, 3 strings, 4 strings, 5 strings, even 6 strings, and get that effortless, and then you're going to be able to apply it in your favorite songs. Number 8 is the fundamentals of picking. So you want to have systems that determine whether you use a downstroke or an upstroke. Some players just say, oh, well, I'll just alternate and that's good, or I'll just do it however I feel. But really getting your picking right can be the difference between landing a gig or getting passed over for the opportunity. Number 9 is string bending, and there's so many great solos, like again, Stairway to Heaven, Hotel California, Big Ben. Countless solos start and end with bends. And this is because bending is one of the most expressive techniques we have available to us as guitar players. But you want to make sure you get it right, because if you don't, then it can be equally expressive in the wrong way. Meaning you can, hit notes. If I did this blues bend, I went, kind of went out of tune like that, then that's not gonna sound good. And number 10 is vibrato. Now, over my past 26 plus years of playing and teaching guitar, I've noticed that most guitar players have no idea how to actually practice vibrato or have thought about how to do this beyond just wiggling a few notes and hoping for the best. But vibrato is very specific. There's a lot of variables that you can practice, and there's also a way to match it to the song. It's not just about kind of doing it however you feel. You want to match your bending not only to the style of the music, but to the emotion as well. And when you get this right, it's like vibrato can bring out the soul of a note. For instance, if I just play straight tone like this, or I add vibrato to it, all of a sudden it comes to life. So there you have it. Those are 10 must-know guitar techniques for beginner and intermediate players. Now there's a lot more, but that's all we're covering in this video. Keep practicing, and if you want to learn songs faster, understand the fretboard, and not waste years spinning your wheels with guitar, then go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide and get your hands on my free fretboard guide PDF. This is going to show you 5 chords and 5 scales to unlock the fretboard, and you'll use this when you solo and when you play rhythm. And it's completely free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide and grab that now as my gift to you. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you might like this one next.